Have you seen this video yet?
Everyone take their blindfolds off. I've already given multiple commands to clear the room and get out of here, but no one's moving.
Dude's like, what?
Really, they're taking this pretty serious.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
You in charge?
Oh my God.
You said
Still haven't found out who's in charge?
Might want to ask our house dad.
Where's he at?
Summit.
working on something.
Summit, that's cool.
So,
So,
you got
obviously,
something here?
yeah, lieutenant's coming.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So I like to go down these rabbit holes. Whenever I see a video like this, I have to watch the whole thing. And in my time exploring just weird stuff, whether it's aliens or Bigfoot or the Mossad or the Illuminati or whatever, what I found is there does seem to be this weird undercurrent of secret societies that have been rumored to run the world. They've been rumored to run the world, politics, pretty much every really big, think, the Vatican, any really big institution. There seems to be some level of secret societies involved. And, we all know that George W. Bush was a member of Skull and Bones, which was a secret society. And a lot of this stuff, I'm convinced, starts at the college level.
You guys had to do this too, huh? No.
I don't know what this is.
I mean, it's not like you guys didn't know there was 15, 20 people down in your basement.
He's not going to tell
It's
you.
not that dumb.
He's part of a secret society.
And I'm getting a little frustrated that no one's telling me who's in charge of what's going on right
I can help
here.
you out, but I'm not in charge.
Literally,
I'd like to help you, but I'm not in charge.
yeah. I mean, we asked you to call your house dad. And you said,
I don't have
He's working.
How do you not? He's your house dad. How do you not have his number? Okay, and what are you doing here?
So clearly there's a lot of secrecy around what's going on here. No doubt about it.
So what's going on in here? You don't know? You're just blocking the door so we can't see you live here. How does nobody live here then? Just hanging out?
You tell me.
No, you tell me.
I don't know.
You go University of Iowa?
what I know and don't know.
You do? What's your major?
Business.
Business? What's your name?
Why?
Sure, what's your name is?
Jose.
Jose? Jose, what's your last name?
Why?
Phone who I'm talking to.
I want to tell you that. I don't want to tell you that.
Okay, how old are you?
21.
All right,
Want to see my ID?
yeah, you got an ID or anything to prove?
Okay. So clearly these guys are up to no good. I mean, does this look like something that should be happening in a basement on a college campus, university? Of course not. Of course not. If you go and watch this full video, nobody will speak up. Nobody will say what's going on. They refuse to talk about anything. But guys, it's just fun. It's all fun and games. It's just a fraternity. I don't think so. I don't think it's just a fraternity. I think there's other stuff at play.
What's all over you guys?
It's just water.
Just water? What's on that dude's tie?
I'm not sure if some are.
You? Come here.
Serena. What does it look like?
Nope, you're gonna stand right over there
Why?
because I'm telling you to.
It's my house.
It's your house. You're responsible for everything that
I'm in
happened
this
today.
fraternity, so.
So, okay. Second right there. Get up against the wall. Come over here. You're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna stand with your buddy over here. Milliken, take these two, ask them questions about what's going on their arms. So, are you responsible for the house? No. Okay, who's the house dad?
I just told you he works at f***ing Summit. Go call him. Go there.
What was his name?
Eric. Eric, I told you.
Okay.
Why are you asking me?
Because it sounds like you're responsible for the house.
No.
Sounds like you have some idea of what's going on.
No.
You're not very forthcoming with everything.
How about you ask the house dad? Who are you 30 years
That's who we're trying to get hold of.
Okay, go call him.
You're
Please.
Stay right there.
Stay here.
You guys got IDs on you?
Yes, sir.
Let's take a look at them. Step back. I don't know you, dude.
This is
Back up.
private property. I can stay here.
Yeah, but right now we're investigating something that's going on.
Investigating what? There's nothing going on.
There's nothing going on. Okay.
Does anyone want to be forthcoming on what's going on? Anyone? Because you got to see it from my perspective. What the did I just walk into?
Celebration
Nobody? Celebration of what?
of life.
Okay, sweet.
Celebration of life. Okay. All right.
Okay, you two. The reason I pulled you guys aside.
Okay, so it's a celebration of life, guys. This is what they do at a fraternity. All right. Nothing secret. It's just a celebration of life. Definitely nothing nefarious going on here. So this reminded me of something I saw a while ago, and I had kind of forgotten about, a documentary on HBO called Bama Rush. And in the documentary, they mentioned this thing called the Machine.
It's mentioned as a secret society with the top members from each top sorority and fraternity. They all meet up in one of the basements of the fraternity houses and they rig all of the elections, basically. And the Bama Rush documentary also shares a story of one not independent candidate for, I think it was SGA presidency. And the Bama Rush documentary shared the story of one independent SGA candidate who had her house broken into and was assaulted by someone who she believed was part of the machine. But there is so much more to this than the Bama Rush documentary shared. Are we shocked? The article that I used to Did you guys just hear that? That was my stomach. Sorry, what the fuck?
So I'm going to go ahead and stop her right there. But basically, Bama Rush is a documentary about Greek life at the University of Alabama.
We're getting ready to rush. Look at all the people already starting to line up.
The University of Alabama is the top sorority recruitment in all of the country.
Rush consists of 4 highly competitive rounds.
Let's be honest, I probably would not be going to Alabama if it did not blow up on TikTok. I'm nervited, which is nervous and excited.
It's way more dramatic than you're thinking it is.
Being in a sorority will help me figure out the person I want to be, because I feel like I don't really know who I am, you know?
I have trust issues with people and I get nervous that people are gonna leave me. So I'm really hoping that when I get to Alabama, I can just always have an open heart.
Yeah, so I think there's a bunch of reasons why people get into fraternities and sororities. And there was a period of time where I met a lot of people in the job that I was doing who were a part of sororities and fraternities. And I will say that they did seem to have a ton of friends. And so for a while, I was a little disappointed that I had kind of maybe missed out on that fraternity experience. I've noticed that a lot of people that are a part of sororities or fraternities, not only do they have a lot of friends, but they tend to have a lot of success in business and career. I don't know if that's, you could say, well, is that like a chicken? It's kind of a chicken or the egg kind of thing. Like, would they have even gotten into the fraternity or the sorority if they weren't already somewhat marginally successful or came from, a wealthier family or whatever? But I was always like, man, I really feel like I missed out on that. Then I saw this movie.
What are you filming for?
Not to be dramatic, but this documentary could be the end of Greek life as we know it.
These accounts don't even look real. Have you guys heard of this thing, the Machine?
No, you can't talk about that.
Rush is a social stratification ritual of power, of status, of prestige.
The rumor on TikTok is that they were wearing microphones in bracelets.
She got kicked out of Rush.
Are you kidding me right now? Sorority recruitment's a game. You have to know how to play it. Because Greek life is everything at Alabama.
So in the documentary, they talk a lot about just the demands and the lengths that these girls will go to basically become a part of this sorority. And near the end, there is this like twist and turn where basically some sort of powers that be realize that there's a documentary being made, and they go to the girls and they say, you can't, like, do not participate in this, because like they don't want, essentially what it feels like is they don't want these secrets. They don't want secrets getting out. They don't want people knowing anything that goes on behind the scenes of these sororities. And the idea is there's this thing called the machine, and the machine is this some sort of power structure within the University of Alabama, or possibly extends even further. I honestly watched the entire documentary, and by the time I got to the end of it, I was a little disappointed, because I felt like there's something so much bigger here that and I don't know if the director never caught on to it. I don't know if they did catch on to it and they were threatened and so they stopped or whatever. But it definitely felt like to me that these girls were being groomed for very high level positions, not just at the university, but outside of that, like in politics, in general life. They were being groomed for positions of power. And I think that's the same thing that happens in fraternities, is these guys are being groomed to be a part of this like brotherhood of sorts, of people who are given power, whether it's in their career or through money or whatever it is. They're given some sort of level of power, and in return, I mean, I don't want to say they sell their souls, but I can't imagine it's that much different than Hollywood. I think these people do participate in rituals, and I think the very highest levels of these secret societies, they participate in things that are very dark, Epstein type stuff. I think it does happen at the very highest levels. I'm not sure that it happens at most of the levels all the way up, because I think most of the people, you can't have that many people participating in the very high crime kind of stuff. That's for, I think, a select few. But you need kind of this pyramid of power so that the people at the top have control over all these other people. And so a lot of these people may not actually be participating in the most insane stuff. It's just the small triangle at the top is doing that. But then they have all these people underneath them who are, reasonably good people, I suppose. They might have a regular family. They might have kids. They might have a really great career. They might be what we would consider to be a mostly upstanding citizen. And if you can build this pyramid of power beneath you, and you can be the little triangle at the top that's, abusing I don't want to say the KIDS on YouTube, because apparently I get taken down for saying anything that's related to anything of controversial nature. But essentially, they've created these power structures where they can just do what they want. And I think it starts as early as college, where they are plucking the cream of the crop kids in terms of parents who have money, or kids who have the best grades, or the prettiest girls, or the hottest guys, or whatever it is. They are taking these people who have individual talents and deciding how they are going to use those individual talents and where those people fit in to their machine, for a lack of a better word. All right, so now I want to get into some of this undercover video that Kyle Undercover shot. Just put in, Kyle Undercover into YouTube. You can find him. This clip is actually taken from Polarity, which is a great show on YouTube. Josh here is on the right, and he is the host, and he runs a really great show. Definitely subscribe to it because he does a lot of interesting stuff. Anyway, I wanted to show you this clip. If I can figure out how to play it. Boom. Okay, guys, so they say Freemasonry is a networking event. That's what it's all about, networking, guys.
Oh, Lord, my God. Oh, Lord, my God. Oh, Lord, my God. Is there no help for the widow's son? Brother Heimertag, you will raise the body by the grip of an inner French mason.
This looks like networking to me. I'm just trying to expand my HVAC business.
Most excellent King Solomon, the body cannot be so raised, owing to its advanced state of decomposition, it having been dead 15 days.
Okay, so this is the, I wanted to show you the other handshake.
Skin slips from the flesh.
So they do all these rituals. By the way, this is not what networking events look like. Networking events are supposed to be a bunch of people who are unemployed looking for work. This is clearly something else.
Then you will endeavor to raise the body by the true grip of a fellow crown. Most excellent King Solomon, for like reasons before,
King
the
Solomon.
body cannot be thus raised. The
Here we
flesh
go.
cleaves from
Check this out. So I want you guys to look at this handshake. This handshake, you can find people doing handshakes like this if you look at political tape. If you watch the tape, we just got to watch the tape back, guys. If you watch the tape of politicians interacting with other politicians, you're going to see this handshake. And I'm going to show you that now. Watch this.
Purposely puts
Boom,
the thumb
roasted.
right there on the back of the...
That's the same handshake, guys. That's the... I'm trying to... Sorry, I got a bunch of windows open. That's the same handshake. Check it out. Boom. That is literally the same handshake. Look how he's pressing his thumb down on the second knuckle. This stuff happens. This is real stuff. That's why I'm showing you this, to just show you that this really happens in real life. That is a very specific handshake. It's not like a regular thing where you go in like this, hey bro. It's not a hey bro handshake. It's almost like, honestly, it's a little gay. I don't want to say it like that. It's a little gay. I don't mean to offend anybody. It's a little gay. You kind of go in like this. You kind of go in like you're a man, but you're actually a woman. That's what's happening in that handshake.
Pass to the degree of fellow crowd. Now seek the line of masonry by being raised to the sublime degree. That's the mason.
Guys, I just wanted to get a little more exposure for my HVAC business. Oh, God.
I mean, nothing that looks like this can be good. Seriously.
He's not wrong.
I, last name in full, in an audible tone of voice, repeat after me. I, of my own free will and accord, in addition to my former obligations.
Definitely looks like he's exercising his free will.
I will always hail, whatever
Guys, I was just trying to drum up a little more HVAC business.
Any of the secret parts, or points. Any of the secret arts, parts, or points of the hidden mysteries of Freemasonry. Appertaining to the degree. Of Master Mason. To any person. Under the canopy of heaven. Except it be. In true and lawful brother of this degree,
to a true and lawful brother of this degree,
or within the body
of a just
and legally constituted lodge
of
Master Mason.
Is that a boom microphone hanging over his head? What is that?
After strict trial, to examination.
Are they recording
For
this?
lawful information.
Furthermore,
That I will aid and assist. All distressed.
That's crazy.
Worthy brother Master Mason. Their widows and orphans. Whosoever dispersed around the globe. That I will keep the secrets. Of a brother Master Mason. As my own. When given to me. In charge as such. Murder and treason accepted. Furthermore.
Guys.
That I will not violate the chastity. Of a brother Master.
Guys, it's just, I don't know what to tell you. It's a networking event, okay? And sometimes when you really want to drum up some business, you got to strip down and get blindfolded and recite a bunch of things that don't make any sense to the normal person. That's what Freemasonry is, guys. It's just a normal, run-of-the-mill, networking society. Nothing crazy going on here. Maybe we should look up an actual former 33rd degree Mason, and even higher. Let's just get into it. I don't even know how to explain it.
Please. If you're a 10th degree 9th Templar, you can become a 33rd degree Mason, even if you never went through the Scottish Rite.
Okay.
Minor detail. But.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying. So, all right, now we talked about the 33rd degree Mason. People usually are like, that's the highest level of Freemasonry that there is. There's also a bunch of people that talk about, there's secrets in Freemasonry that a lot of people don't know about, and you have to, be deemed worthy to be told these secrets. You became a 33rd degree Mason, and you eventually joined this secret group or secret order or whatever you want to call it. Can you explain what that is?
Okay. Well, beyond what we've just been talking about.
Hey guys, just so you know, I do like to give credit to people. This show that I'm watching here, where I'm pulling this from, this interview is from Almost False on YouTube. So if you just go to the Almost False profile on YouTube, that's who put this up. So not trying to steal stuff, just saw this, thought it was fascinating, interesting. If you want to see the whole thing, I'm going to put a link in the show notes. Go check it out, watch the whole thing. It's really good. There's actually 2 episodes, maybe even 3 or 4 with this guy. I think you have to be a member to get 2 of them, but there's 2 episodes for sure that you can watch for free, and they're awesome. So really good stuff from this creator here.
Over in Europe is what's called the Rite of Memphis Mitzrayim, and that is 360 degrees beyond what's, I've already discussed. And most Masons don't even know about that. Now, I got up to the, if memory serves, 96th degree. And because how I did that is there was a group in Chicago where they were involved with that thing, because Chicago was and probably still is a major nexus of Satanism. Most people don't know that. So this group brought me into Memphis Mitzrayim, and then ultimately there was a fellow that flew over all the way from Paris, who was the son of Pappas. Now, you probably don't know that name, but Pappas was a very prominent 19th century high-level occultist and ceremonial magician, and he wrote a book called The Tarot of the Bohemians, or about tarot cards, And he came over and he brought me into the 97th degree. And this is where you get into the really deep stuff, the ideas behind sexual alchemy, how to supposedly live forever, all this creepy stuff. Anyway, I would go up to these guys that
Okay. Let me just say right here. I mean, this stuff that he's gonna start to talk about is stuff that I've heard. It just whenever I look into these sort of things like power, Epstein files, this Pizzagate, these recurring themes just keep coming up and they do not stop. And whenever you bring them up in a real life conversation, what people tend to do is they tend to say that you are a conspiracy theorist. You are an insane person. Do you actually believe that? I was just talking to my aunt on the phone and telling her about some of these things that I'm kind of starting to just kind of peel back. And I even tell her, I'm like, I'm not sure, but I'm like learning this and I heard this from here. And she's like, oh, stay on planet Earth. Like, people are not ready to understand some of the stuff that I really do think is happening and will be found out. I don't know if it'll be common knowledge. I expect it probably will be common knowledge by the time I die. I don't know for sure. But I think within the next 100 years, we're going to just have a totally different view about politicians, the people that run this world, the things that people do and say that maybe aren't actually good. We pretend they're good. We like to think they're good. We worship Trump, or we worship Hillary, or we're so in line with the Democrats or this or that or whatever. It's like, yeah, there's actually a lot going on that you don't know about. And it's not great. It's not great. It's not great. I don't know. Let's keep watching. Let's just keep going.
I've been in the Scottish Rite forever, older men that were in their 60s. And I'd say, okay, I'm now a sublime prince of the royal secret. Wang, they did this initiation and I was a sublime prince of the royal secret. I said, so what's the royal secret? And they go, I don't know. Now, whether they were just feigning ignorance, because at this time I was like in my late 20s, or what, I don't know. But I learned eventually, after getting into the Rite of Memphis Mithraeum, and again, this is something that probably only 1 in 1,000 Masons in America understands, is that the royal secret is that you can live forever by sexually vampirizing children. Literally. And that's what these people believe.
Okay. So I do have to stop it right there because I didn't know what that meant. I was like, well, okay, so you sexually abuse the KIDS and then what? And then you drink their blood? Like what exactly does that mean? I found another interview with the same guy where he makes the same point, right? Here it is.
And the royal secret, which I think I addressed in that podcast you referenced earlier, is basically that in the darkest, deepest, and again, 99% of Masons don't know this, but in the deepest, darkest, belly of Freemasonry is the teaching that the royal secret is that you get to live longer by having sexual relations with children.
Wow. Vampire. You said it was vampire, right? Vampire.
Yeah, kind of a sort of a sexual vampirism. It's believed that if you a little boy or if you're a little girl, that somehow you are taking their innocence. But it was taught to me that at the same time you're like taking their life force.
Wow.
Their chi, their prana, all these weird occult terms. And thank goodness I was pulled out of this by, Yeshua, Jesus, before I ended up doing anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's really dark. And again, let me emphasize, most of the guys in Masonry are nice guys. They're deceived down to their toenails. But there's this certain elite cadre. And I'll tell you, this is true of almost all of these groups. whether it's the Mormons or the Masons or the Jehovah's Witnesses, at the highest levels, there's deep iniquity, deep sexual perversity, all kinds of nastiness.
So the royal secret is vampiric relations with children.
Yeah, sexual vampirism.
Sexual vampirism.
But
I've been told. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I've been told from friends that are 32nd degree Masons that they didn't want to become a 33rd degree Mason because they have to, one of the main things they have to do is denounce Christ when you go into the 33rd degree.
Well, yeah. And you also have to drink communion out of a skull again.
Okay.
But yes, that's true. And there was a fellow named Jim Shaw, who's since gone home to the Lord quite a few years ago. But he was the first 33rd degree Mason to come out of it and he become a born again Christian. And he wrote a book called The Deadly Deception. And in that book, he describes the 33rd degree. And I'm sure that book is still in print. And
very
it's
expensive.
fascinating because, among other things, he says when he was made a 33rd degree Mason, he said there were several very prominent Christians there, and he didn't say who, but when asked privately by the guy who was his co-author, whose name was Tom McKinney, he said it was Billy Graham. That Billy Graham was a 32. He was there to watch this fellow be made a 33rd degree. And, that's one guy's word.
Wow.
And other people have kind of poked around because, of course, Billy Graham is lionized. He's regarded as one of the greatest evangelists of the 20th century. But for whatever reason, there's this weird connection between the Baptists, the Southern Baptists, and the Freemasons.
I've done videos on the Charlie Kirk assassination, and I don't know that there's a direct correlation or connection between that and Freemasonry or that and Mormonism, which is also has this weird kind of connection to Freemasonry. But if what he's saying about Billy Graham is true, that you could have someone who's so well versed in the Bible and Christianity, for example, right? How could they be a Freemason? How could they be a 33rd degree or even higher Mason that's practicing satanic stuff, but then in public, they are so Christian? And you know what it got me thinking about is how there is a lot of talk that Erica Kirk maybe was a plant in Charlie Kirk's life. But I hear her talk and I hear her say all these like super Christian things. I hear her say all these things that sound like evangelical type things. And I think, well, how could somebody who's so steeped in like Satanism or the Mossad or like, no, they wouldn't know all these things to say that sound so good to like a Christian person? Because I grew up in that world. I grew up in that stuff. I'm not religious, but I was. And I'm like, how could somebody who's a really bad person know so much about a religion that proclaims to be so good? I don't know. But if Billy Graham can do that, if that's true, I don't know if it is or not, but if he can do that, I guess Erica Kirk could do it too. It's just wild. It's wild to think that somebody as smart as Charlie Kirk could fall into that trap. La femme fatale. That's a real life la femme fatale if true. If what I think might be happening is happening, that is wild. That is crazy. And that's a real life la femme fatale for sure.
Now, again, the vast majority of Masons have no understanding of any of this. They just think it's this good old boys club that teaches, morality. And this is the way with almost all of these groups, whether it's the Mormons or the Masons or the witches or the Vatican, they all have this vast number of reasonably good people, in some cases very good people, under them that are sort of feeding them all of this energy. Because let me back up. When I was into Satanism, we understood and were taught that Satan draws energy from being worshipped. And when these guys, they don't, even if they don't understand it, every time a Mason kneels at the altar and swears an oath, the devil gets energy from that. And again, most Masons, if they heard this, they would be scandalized. They'd say, this guy's a nut.
This is all stuff I've been hearing too. Like, there is some sort of thing going on with energy. And the way I like to think about it, and the way I've kind of experienced it in my own life, is that when my mom passed away, I was there for her final breaths. I was sitting at her bedside. She passed away basically in front of me. And when she left her body, her soul, I really believe this, her soul left her body. And she was still the person that I loved and cared about, but I knew she wasn't there anymore. And a lot of people, when they go to a wake or a funeral or an open casket or whatever, they will tell you, they look at the body, they see the person laying there, and they say, I know that's the person, but they're not there. Nobody's home. That's the body, but nobody's home. That energy that was inside left. I really do believe that our souls are energy. I don't know how it all works, but we all know that when somebody dies, their body stops everything, you know? Where did that energy go? It went somewhere. We know that energy just moves. It just keeps moving. It just gets transferred. It doesn't really end as far as we know, right? So where did that soul go? Where did that person go? Where did that energy go? And so if we have energy while we're still alive, then people can take some of that energy from us, right? People can drain you of your energy. I mean, you see that even in relationships. I mean, people talk about, oh, I feel so drained in this relationship. Yeah, you might be. You might be. So I don't think this stuff is crazy. I don't think this, like, entities, Satan, whoever, aliens, demons, Nephilim, whatever you think is real, like, I don't necessarily think that it's that crazy to think that they draw energy from us. Does that make sense? I think it does. I don't know. I think so.
But the funny thing is, and like you say, you've talked with people who, to a greater degree or a lesser degree, and believe me, we've talked to dozens of people over the years in ministry who came to us who were, like sodomized as children, who were literally taken to the Masonic Lodge after hours, laid on that very same altar that the Holy King James Bible laid on, and they were gang raped by a bunch of old men that were all high-level Masons until they were practically dead.
Yeah, that's pretty much the story that I heard without, details, because it was an eyewitness account. It was a secondhand witness, but it's similar to what I heard before. Okay.
I don't know exactly where I'm even going with this episode, other than to say, like, there's something there with the Freemason stuff. How tied into it is what's going on with our government, what's going on with our politicians, what's going on with fraternities and sororities and Epstein. I don't know. But some of this stuff seems like it's all starting to kind of come together and make sense. And I'm just exploring this one video at a time. I don't necessarily have a beginning, middle, and end for you. I wish I did, but I don't even have that. I'm just trying to explore with you guys. So I hope you like these episodes. Please comment, subscribe, like. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think I'm crazy? Am I stupid to think this? Am I an idiot? Am I not a critical thinker? Is the moon landing fake? I want to know. I want to know all these things. Like, whatever you guys think, I want you to drop it in the comments. And I don't know. I'll see you guys in the next one.